Beware. Someone tried to mix poison with your medicine. God saved you. Listen carefully, my beloved, because this is not random and this message found you on purpose, and before your mind tries to wander you must hear this. Don't skip this, because what I am about to reveal explains why you felt an unexplained heaviness recently, why your spirit sensed danger without evidence, and why protection surrounded you without your awareness, my child. There was a moment not long ago when harm was planned against you quietly, subtly, hidden inside something meant to heal you, and you were never meant to see it with your physical eyes, only with your spirit. Do you feel the seriousness of this right now, or is your heart starting to beat faster as you listen? Because I intervened before damage could take root, and I stopped what would have altered your path completely. Have you noticed how close you came to something that never happened, how events shifted without explanation, how delay became protection, how confusion became rescue? Tell me honestly, have you been wondering why something you expected never went through, my chosen one? The enemy does not always come loud or obvious. Sometimes it comes disguised as relief, disguised as help, disguised as medicine, and someone near you allowed corruption to enter what was meant to restore you. But listen carefully, you must hear this. I saw it before it touched you. I blocked it before it entered your body. I neutralized it before it affected your destiny. Do you believe I can protect you even when you are unaware, or have you doubted my presence in quiet moments? Type Amen if you feel my protection surrounding you even now, because I am speaking directly to you, not to many, not to the crowd, but to you, my beloved, and this warning is also a confirmation, because only those marked for greater purpose face hidden attacks like this. Have you ever asked yourself why opposition seems excessive compared to your current position? Why resistance rises even before breakthrough appears? Why battles start before blessings manifest? My child, this was an attempt to weaken you before what is coming, but it failed, and you are still standing. Do you realize how significant that is? Do you understand that survival itself is a sign of calling? Listen, don't skip this, because I am revealing something sacred now. The poison was not only physical, it was spiritual, meant to cloud your discernment, drain your joy, and slow your obedience, yet you are still here listening, still breathing, still searching for truth, still feeling hope ignite again. Doesn't that tell you something? Tell me, have you felt protected even when you could not explain why? Have you sensed a hand guiding you away from certain choices recently? Type yes if you recognize this divine redirection in your life. My chosen one, I allowed you to sense just enough discomfort to move away, just enough delay to avoid damage, just enough unease to step back. Because what I am preparing you for cannot be touched by contamination, and this is why the attack was subtle, because the enemy knew obvious force would fail. Do you see now why your intuition has been sharpened lately, why your dreams have felt heavier, why your spirit has been restless? Listen carefully, because this next part is critical. I did not only save you, I exposed the pattern, and once you see it, you will never be vulnerable to it again. Do you feel the weight lifting as truth enters? Do you feel clarity replacing confusion right now? Type I trust you if you are ready to walk more alert and more protected than ever before, because this was a warning and a confirmation, and what happens next will shock you. And this is why I need your full attention now, my child. Don't skip this, because what I am about to uncover explains why the danger came through something familiar, something trusted, something you never questioned, and this is not to fill you with fear but to awaken discernment. Do you feel that shift inside you right now, that quiet alertness rising, that sense that your eyes are opening wider than before? Because the attempt against you was not random, it was calculated, timed, and aimed. At a moment when you were vulnerable, tired, or seeking relief, have you noticed how exhaustion tried to settle over you recently, how discouragement whispered that you deserved rest at any cost, how temptation came disguised as comfort? Tell me honestly, did you almost accept something simply because you were weary, my beloved? This is why I stepped in so forcefully yet so quietly. Because I will not allow desperation to lead you into destruction, and listen carefully, this pattern has happened before in your life, hasn't it? Moments where harm was disguised as help, where betrayal wore a friendly face, where danger hid behind kindness. Do you remember those seasons? Do they make sense now in a new way? Type Amen if you are seeing your past differently as I speak, because I am connecting the dots for you right now. And this is not random. You were meant to hear this at this exact moment, my chosen one. The reason the attack failed is because you have been praying even when you felt disconnected, you have been trusting even when answers were delayed, you have been obedient in small things no one saw, and those small acts built a shield you did not even realize was forming. Do you believe your quiet faith still moves heaven, or have you underestimated the power of consistency? Listen, you must hear this. The person involved did not expect you to be covered, did not expect intervention, did not expect exposure, and yet here you are, alive, alert, and awakening. Have you noticed how certain people's energy has felt off lately, how conversations suddenly felt draining, how your spirit wanted distance without logic? That was not imagination, that was discernment activating. Do you trust that inner warning now, or do you still doubt yourself? Type yes if you are ready to honor discernment without explanation, because this next season will require it, my child. What was meant to weaken you actually strengthened you. What was meant to confuse you clarified your vision, and what was meant to harm you revealed who truly belongs in your life. Do you see how protection sometimes comes through separation, how salvation sometimes looks like loss, how rescue sometimes feels uncomfortable at first? Listen carefully, because I am not finished. The exposure of this attempt is preparation for a blessing that requires purity, clarity, and strength, and that blessing is closer than you think. Have you felt anticipation mixed with fear recently, excitement tangled with uncertainty, hope rising even while questions remain? That tension is the doorway of transformation. Don't skip this, because I am about to tell you why timing mattered so much, why it had to be stopped now and not later, and why what comes next cannot be delayed any longer. Do you believe something life-changing is aligning for you even now? Type I am ready if your spirit feels called forward, because everything is about to change, and the truth I haven't revealed yet will change everything. And here is why the timing was critical, my beloved. Listen carefully and don't skip this, because what I blocked was not only about your past pain but about your future position, and if that poison had entered, even in a small measure, it would have delayed what is scheduled to manifest next in your life. Do you feel the weight of that realization settling in right now? The understanding that you were standing at the edge of something far greater than you realized. My child, there is an assignment attached to your name, a responsibility tied to your obedience, and a calling that cannot be carried by a weakened vessel. Have you ever wondered why healing has been such a central theme in your journey, why restoration keeps returning as a promise, why your spirit refuses to accept brokenness as final? Tell me honestly, have you felt that you are meant to help others survive what almost destroyed you? Because that is not imagination, that is destiny stirring, and the interference was meant to disqualify you quietly before elevation. Do you see now why the attack was hidden, why it targeted your strength rather than your visibility? listen, you must hear this. I allowed you to sense danger without panic because fear was not meant to lead you, discernment was, and you listened even when you did not know why. Have you noticed how you paused instead of rushing, how you questioned instead of consuming, how you waited instead of forcing? Type Amen if you now see that. Restraint was divine guidance, my chosen one. There are eyes watching you that you are unaware of, not to harm you now, but to witness what I am about to do through you, and this is why protection intensified, because exposure is coming, influence is coming, and your testimony will carry weight. Do you feel a mixture of humility and readiness rising within you, a sense that you are being prepared rather than delayed, my child? The enemy attempted to corrupt your source of strength, but I am purifying it instead, and what flows into you from now on will heal deeper, restore faster, and strengthen longer. Have you felt a shift in your appetite for truth, a desire for what is clean, pure, and life-giving? Type yes if you feel drawn to clarity more than comfort now, because this alignment is necessary for what follows. Listen carefully, because this next revelation is heavy. The incident you were spared from was not the first attempt, but it will be the last of its kind. Do you feel the finality in that statement, the closing of a chapter, the sealing of protection around you? My beloved, I am repositioning you out of reach, elevating you beyond access, and surrounding you with awareness you cannot unlearn. Have you noticed how ignorance no longer feels possible? How your spirit rejects excuses and demands truth? That is growth, that is preparation, that is me walking you forward. Don't skip this, because what I am about to reveal next explains why your future blessings will arrive suddenly and why some people will not understand how you survived to receive them, and what comes next will shock you. Because survival was only the beginning, my child. Listen carefully and don't skip this, because what I am about to say explains why the protection around you feels heavier now, stronger now, more intentional now. I did not only remove danger, I marked you, and marking always attracts reaction. Have you noticed subtle resistance rising even as peace increases, moments where things improve yet tension lingers, where clarity grows yet opposition feels near? Tell me honestly, does it feel like calm before something massive breaks open? My beloved, this is because once an assignment is secured, preparation accelerates, and preparation can feel intense. Do you feel that intensity in your spirit right now, that sense of being watched over more closely than before? Because what you carry next cannot be tampered with. And this is why I am teaching you to recognize what enters your life before it touches your core. Have you become more selective recently, more cautious with words, people, and choices, more aware of what drains you versus what restores you? Type yes if discernment has become louder than logic, because that is no accident, my chosen one. The attempt against you exposed a truth you were meant to see now, not later. And that truth is this: not everyone who offers help is sent by me, not every solution carries life, and not every open door is safe. Do you feel the seriousness of that settling in? Do you realize how much you have already avoided by trusting the pause? Listening to the warning, honoring the hesitation. Listen, you must hear this, because from this moment forward, your sensitivity will protect you faster than explanation ever could, and I will guide you even when you cannot articulate why you are moving away. Have you experienced that inner no rising without reason, that quiet withdrawal that saved you trouble you never had to face? Type Amen if you trust that guidance more now than ever, my child. I am also restoring what fear tried to steal from you: confidence, trust in yourself, and peace in your body. Have you felt relief entering places that were tense for so long, moments where your breath feels deeper, your sleep feels calmer, your mind feels clearer? that is healing completing its work, and it is necessary because the next phase requires strength, not survival mode. Do you believe you are allowed to live without constant defense? Or have you grown used to guarding yourself? Listen carefully, because I am shifting you from protection to purpose, from avoidance to advancement, from rescue to release, and this transition can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. Have you felt that strange mix of safety and anticipation, like something is forming but not yet visible? Type I am ready if your spirit senses movement ahead, because I am about to open something that cannot be closed again, and when it happens, the memory of what almost harmed you will transform into testimony that empowers others. Don't skip this, because the final truth behind why you were targeted and why you were spared is about to be revealed, and what happens next will change everything. And the reason you were targeted, my beloved, listen carefully and don't skip this, is because what flows through you carries healing, clarity, and direction that disrupts darkness simply by existing. You do not have to speak loudly to threaten the enemy, your presence already does. Have you ever wondered why people react to you before they know you? Why some are drawn instantly while others resist without cause? Tell me honestly. Have you felt misunderstood even when your intentions were pure? That is because light exposes without effort, and what tried to poison you was an attempt to silence that quiet authority. My child, the enemy does not attack what is empty, it attacks what is about to overflow. Do you feel that truth settling deep inside you right now? Because this changes how you see your struggles. It reframes your pain as evidence of purpose. Listen, you must hear this. Your survival is proof that your assignment is protected, and the reason I intervened so precisely is because what you are about to carry next must remain uncontaminated. Have you felt words forming inside you lately, wisdom rising unexpectedly, a desire to guide, comfort, or warn others? Type yes if you sense that you are meant to be a vessel, because that stirring is not accidental, my chosen one. The poison was meant to dull your voice before it matured, to weaken your influence before it expanded, to make you doubt your discernment before you trusted it fully. Yet here you are, clearer, stronger, more awake than before. Do you realize how powerful that makes you? Do you understand why heaven celebrates when you choose awareness over fear, trust over panic, obedience over impulse? Listen carefully, because I am sealing something now. From this moment forward, what is meant for you will come clean, aligned, and unmistakable, and what is not will reveal itself quickly. Have you noticed how deception no longer lingers long in your life, how truth surfaces faster, how masks slip sooner? Type Amen if you feel protected by clarity itself. My child, the attempt against you has been turned into a shield, an education, and a testimony, and soon you will speak of it without pain, without fear, only with gratitude and authority. Do you believe you are stepping into a season where your story helps others recognize danger and choose life? Because that is what is unfolding. Don't skip this. Because I am about to do something sudden, something visible, something that confirms everything you have just heard, and when it happens, you will remember this moment, this warning, this rescue, and you will know it was all intentional. Everything is aligning now, and what happens next will shock you. And this sudden confirmation will arrive when you least expect it. My child, listen carefully and don't skip this, because the moment of validation often comes disguised as an ordinary day, an ordinary conversation, an ordinary decision, yet everything will feel different inside you. Have you noticed how your spirit has become quieter but stronger? How you no longer chase signs but recognize them when they appear? Tell me honestly, do you feel steadier than before even without answers? Because that stability is preparation, my beloved. What I am about to release into your life will require calm hands and a clear heart, not urgency, not panic, not desperation, and that is why the threat had to be removed first. Do you understand now why peace returned before progress, why rest came before reward, why clarity preceded movement? Type yes if you are beginning to trust the order of things. Because divine order is restoring you from the inside out, my chosen one. There will soon be a moment when someone speaks words that confirm what you sensed all along. Information will surface, truth will be revealed, and you will realize how close the danger truly was. Have you felt that inner knowing that something hidden will soon be exposed, that what was done quietly will not remain silent? Listen, you must hear this. When that revelation comes, do not be shaken, do not be angry, do not seek confrontation, because by then it will already be powerless. Do you believe that silence can sometimes be victory, that restraint can be stronger than reaction? Type Amen if you are ready to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. My child, I am also strengthening your body, your mind, and your spirit together, because what comes next requires wholeness. Have you felt renewed energy in unexpected moments, sudden motivation where fatigue once lived, peace entering places that used to ache? That is restoration completing its work, and it is happening faster now. Listen carefully, because I am repositioning you among people who cannot access you with harm, who will recognize your value without envy, who will support without hidden intention. Have you felt a shift in your connections recently? Fewer but deeper, quieter but safer. Type yes if you sense alignment replacing chaos, because this alignment is protection in motion. My beloved, the attempt to poison you has awakened a guardian awareness within you, and from now on you will sense imbalance before it becomes danger, hesitation before it becomes harm, warning before it becomes loss. Do you trust yourself more now than you did before this message began? Because that trust is a gift. Don't skip this, because the final unfolding is near, a blessing so precise it could only reach someone. Preserve this carefully, and when it arrives, you will understand why the attack failed, why the rescue was silent, and why your life was spared for this exact moment. Everything is about to change, and the truth that completes this story will be revealed next. And this truth completes the circle you could not see before. My beloved, listen carefully and don't skip this, because what I am about to reveal explains why your life feels like it has been quietly redirected onto a new path, even though nothing dramatic announced the turn. Have you sensed that subtle shift, that feeling that you are no longer where you were even if you cannot explain how you moved? Tell me honestly, does it feel like the ground beneath you has changed without noise? Because when I spared you, I did not return you to the same road. I placed you ahead of the danger entirely. My child, the rescue was also a relocation, and this is why certain doors closed without explanation and certain desires faded without effort. Do you remember how something you once wanted suddenly lost its pull? How a path you planned no longer felt right? Type yes if you now see that loss as guidance. Because I removed you from reach before harm could follow again, my chosen one. The poison attempt marked the end of access, and from that moment forward, not everyone could follow you where you were taken. Have you noticed how your circle has narrowed, how conversations have simplified, how silence feels safer than noise? Listen, you must hear this. Isolation was not punishment, it was protection, refinement, and elevation at the same time. Do you feel stronger alone than you once felt surrounded? Because that is a sign you are being fortified for visibility. My beloved, what comes next will not require explanation, it will speak for itself, and when it appears, people will wonder how you arrived there so intact, so clear, so grounded. unaware of the attack you survived in silence. Have you ever imagined being grateful for something you never experienced? Because soon you will thank me for what did not happen as much as for what did. Type Amen if you trust my unseen interventions now more than ever. My child, the final stage is not about survival or awareness, it is about release of favor, release of assignment, release of impact, and this is why I needed you fully healed, fully aware, fully uncontaminated. Do you feel readiness settling where fear once lived, anticipation replacing anxiety, peace anchoring expectation? Listen carefully, because I am about to move you into a moment where your past protection becomes your future authority, where your discernment becomes your gift to others, and where your testimony opens doors you never knocked on. Don't skip this, because the next thing I speak explains exactly how and when this unfolds, and once you hear it, you will realize nothing in your life has been accidental. Everything was timed, everything was guarded, everything was leading to this, and what happens next will shock you. And this unfolding begins quietly, my child. Listen carefully and don't skip this, because the greatest movements of destiny often arrive without announcement, without noise, without spectacle, and you may miss it if you are only watching with your eyes instead of your spirit. Have you noticed how opportunity has started to feel closer, how answers seem nearer, how alignment feels easier than before? Tell me honestly, does it feel like something is finally meeting you halfway? Because that is not coincidence, my beloved. The moment I spared you, I also scheduled a convergence, a precise intersection where preparation meets permission, and you are approaching it now. Do you feel that sense of nearness, that feeling that waiting is ending and motion is beginning? Listen, you must hear this. What I am about to release will not arrive through struggle, it will arrive through recognition. Someone will see you clearly. A door will open smoothly, a confirmation will land gently yet decisively. Have you felt drawn toward something without strain, toward a decision that feels right without pressure? Type yes if ease has replaced resistance in at least one area of your life, because that ease is alignment, my chosen one. The poison attempt failed because what is coming cannot be forced, delayed, or contaminated. It must arrive intact, and that is why protection surrounded you so tightly. Do you understand now why the process felt slow but the shift feels sudden? Why endurance was required before acceleration? Listen carefully, because when this moment manifests, you may be tempted to question whether you deserve it, but you must not. Have you ever struggled to receive without guilt, to accept without explaining your scars? Because this blessing is not payment for pain, it is fulfillment of promise. Type Amen if you are ready to receive without apology, my child. What unfolds next will confirm your discernment publicly. Others will recognize your wisdom, your clarity, your steadiness, and they will seek what you carry, not knowing the cost you avoided, the danger you escaped, the protection that preserved you. Do you feel prepared to stand in that light without shrinking? Because humility will keep you grounded and awareness will keep you safe. Listen, you must hear this. The story of what almost happened will remain sealed until the right moment, but when it is finally revealed, it will not bring fear, it will bring awe, gratitude, and understanding, and you will see how close loss came and how complete protection truly was. Don't skip this, because the final confirmation is approaching even now, and when it arrives, you will know beyond doubt that you were saved on purpose, preserved for impact, and chosen for what comes next. Everything is aligning into place. And the final truth I have not spoken yet will change everything. And this final truth rests at the center of everything you have felt but could not name, my beloved. Listen carefully and don't skip this, because what I am about to unveil explains why your spirit recognized this message before your mind could process it. Have you noticed that sense of familiarity, that feeling of being known, as if these words were reaching a place inside you that has been waiting? Tell me honestly, did it feel like this message found you rather than you finding it? Because the reason you were protected is tied to awareness. And awareness was always part of your calling, my child. Not everyone would have sensed the danger, not everyone would have paused, not everyone would have listened when the warning came softly, but you did, even without understanding, and that responsiveness is rare. Do you realize that your ability to listen saved your life, not just physically but spiritually? Listen, you must hear this. The poison was permitted to be attempted so that your discernment could be activated permanently, so that you would never again walk blindly into harm. Have you felt that change, that internal shift where you no longer ignore unease, where intuition speaks louder than reassurance? Type yes if you trust that inner voice more now than ever, my chosen one. This experience sealed a covenant between your awareness and my protection, meaning when you listen, I intervene faster, when you pause, I redirect sooner, when you obey, I shield completely. Do you feel the safety in that partnership, the strength in knowing you are not walking alone, my beloved? There will be people ahead who cannot deceive you, situations that cannot trap you, offers that will reveal their nature immediately, because your sight has been sharpened. Have you noticed how clarity now arrives quickly, how confusion no longer lingers for long? Type amen if truth feels closer than ever. Listen carefully, because I am also restoring trust where suspicion tried to live. You will not become hardened or closed, you will become wise and open at the same time. Do you believe that balance is possible, that you can love deeply without being vulnerable to harm, my child? This is the strength I am giving you, and it is rare, and it is powerful, and it is needed where you are going next. Don't skip this, because the path ahead requires exactly what you now carry: discernment without fear, awareness without anxiety, authority without pride, and when you step into it fully, you will look back at this moment and realize it was the turning point, the quiet rescue that changed everything. And what is about to unfold from here will leave no doubt that your life was spared for a reason. Everything is aligning now, and what happens next will shock you. And as this alignment settles, my child, listen carefully and don't skip this, because what unfolds now depends on how deeply you receive this truth. You were not only saved from harm, you were preserved for timing, and timing is everything in the realm you are stepping into. Have you felt that sense of divine patience surrounding you, as if rushing is no longer permitted, as if speed has been replaced by precision? Tell me honestly, do you feel guided to slow down even when opportunity appears? Because that restraint is wisdom forming, my beloved. The reason I speak to you like this is because you are learning to hear beyond noise, beyond urgency, beyond fear, and this hearing will keep you safe where others stumble. Listen, you must hear this. Not everyone will understand the changes you make next. Some will question your caution, some will misunderstand your distance, some will mistake your silence for weakness. Have you felt that pressure already, that subtle push to explain yourself, to justify your choices? Type yes if you have felt misunderstood while staying obedient, because that misunderstanding is proof you are no longer moving with the crowd, my chosen one. I am also restoring your trust and joy, because after near danger, the heart can tighten, laughter can feel risky, peace can feel temporary, but I am loosening that grip. Have you noticed moments of joy returning unexpectedly? Smiles rising without effort, gratitude surfacing without reason, that is healing sealing itself. Listen carefully, because the next stage of your life requires joy as strength, not just endurance? Do you believe joy can protect you as much as vigilance? Because it can, my child. There will soon be an invitation that looks simple but carries weight, a decision that seems small but opens a corridor of blessing, and this is where your sharpened discernment will guide you perfectly. Have you sensed something approaching that feels light yet significant? Type Amen if you feel anticipation without anxiety, because that balance is readiness. My beloved, the attempt to poison you has trained you to recognize what nourishes you versus what only appears to, and from now on, you will choose what sustains your spirit without guilt. Do you feel permission settling over you to say no without explanation, to choose peace without apology? Listen, you must hear this. I am also releasing courage into you. Courage to step forward when alignment calls, courage to trust goodness again, courage to believe that not every offering hides danger. Do you feel that courage rising gently rather than forcefully? Because that is how true confidence grows. Don't skip this, because the final movement is near, a moment where your protection, your awareness, and your readiness converge into visible change, and when it happens, it will feel both sudden and familiar, like arriving home after a long journey. Everything is preparing you for that arrival now, and the next. Revelation will make the purpose of your rescue unmistakably clear. Because when your peace appears, it exposes what others have been avoiding within themselves. My child, listen carefully and do not skip this. This is not about conflict, it is about contrast. And I am warning you now so you do not personalize reactions that were never about you. Have you noticed subtle tension when you stop explaining yourself? Have you felt shifts in how certain people respond now that you are calmer, quieter, more grounded? Tell me honestly, did you sense discomfort when you chose rest instead of reaction? This is not random. Your healing highlights unresolved wounds in others, and your stability reveals chaos they have normalized. Type Amen if you are beginning to understand this dynamic. My beloved, the warning here is not to retreat into guilt or people-pleasing. You are not responsible for managing emotions that are triggered by your obedience. Have you been tempted to shrink your joy to keep peace? Have you considered dulling your light so others feel comfortable? Listen carefully. Love does not require self-abandonment, and alignment will always offend what thrives on dysfunction. Do you believe that I can protect you even when you disappoint expectations? Do you trust me to be your defender when misunderstandings arise? My child, I am also warning you not to confuse familiarity with safety. Some people were assigned to a season, not a lifetime. And clinging to them past that point creates unnecessary pain. Have you felt the ache of outgrowing connections you once relied on? Have you questioned whether loyalty means staying too long? Listen carefully. Loyalty to me sometimes requires letting go of what no longer aligns. Type yes if you are willing to trust me with the relationships you cannot carry forward, because here is the reassurance you need. What leaves now creates space for what fits next, and the emptiness you fear will be filled with resonance, not replacement. Do you feel the difference in that truth? Can you sense relief beneath the sadness? My beloved, the warning deepens. Do not announce every change you make. Transformation does not require an audience. Have you felt the urge to explain your boundaries, to justify your distance, to narrate your growth? Listen carefully. Silence will protect you again. Not everyone deserves access to your process. Type 1111 if you are choosing privacy over performance tonight. My child, there will be moments soon when you are misunderstood, not because you are wrong, but because you are no longer available for old roles. Do you feel the shift in how you respond? Do you notice how quickly you recover now? That is emotional authority, and it is evidence of healing. Listen carefully, because the next warning is subtle but crucial. Do not rush to correct false perceptions. Time will reveal truth without your defense. Have you been tempted to explain your intentions when silence would speak louder? Tell me honestly, do you trust me to vindicate you without your intervention, my beloved? Your calm is not weakness, it is mastery, and mastery intimidates what depends on chaos. When you stop reacting, others must face themselves, and that moment may create distance before it creates respect. But do not fear it, because what is aligned will remain and what is misaligned must fall away. Listen carefully, because the next revelation will uncover why a specific person from your past may suddenly resurface, why timing will feel strangely precise, and why this encounter is connected to the warning you received tonight. And when you hear it, you will realize nothing about your journey was accidental, because what happens next will surprise you. And it will surprise you because their return is not about reconciliation the way you imagine. My child, listen carefully and do not skip this, because this warning now becomes protection in real time. When someone from your past resurfaces, it is often a mirror, not a destination. Have you felt an old name cross your mind recently? Have you sensed a familiar energy approaching even before contact happens? Tell me honestly. Did you feel curiosity mixed with caution when you thought about them? This is not random. This encounter is designed to show you how much you have changed, not to pull you back into who you were. Type Amen if you feel clarity beginning to rise. My beloved, I am warning you not to romanticize what once broke you. Growth makes memory softer, but truth remains firm. Have you been tempted to view the past through nostalgia instead of wisdom? Have you forgotten the prayers you cried when you were trying to escape that season? Listen carefully. What hurt you then cannot hold you now, but returning would cost you momentum. Do you trust me enough to let closure come without reopening doors? My child, the purpose of this meeting is confirmation, not compromise. You will notice how conversations feel different, how your spirit no longer bends, how your peace does not flicker. Have you imagined how you would respond now with the strength you carry? Tell me honestly. Do you feel steadier even thinking about it? This is evidence that the warning worked. Type yes if you are choosing awareness over emotion tonight, because here is the reassurance woven into this moment. You are not vulnerable the way you once were. Discernment stands guard now, and nothing can bypass it without your permission. Do you believe I have matured you without hardening you? Do you trust that compassion and boundaries can exist together? My beloved, I am also warning you about timing within timing. Do not rush to interpret signs before they fully unfold. Patience will reveal intention. Have you learned to pause instead of reacting, to observe instead of assuming? Listen carefully. Wisdom is speaking through restraint, and restraint will keep you from misreading what is meant to strengthen you. Type 1111 if you feel calm instead of anxious right now. My child, after this encounter, something inside you will settle permanently. A question you have carried for years will finally lose its power. Do you feel that release approaching? Can you sense how old emotional loops are closing? This is healing completing itself, not reopening wounds. And here is the deeper warning beneath it all. Do not allow familiarity to negotiate access to your future. Comfort can be a thief when destiny is near. Have you been confusing kindness with permission? Tell me honestly, are you willing to bless without returning, to forgive without reconnecting? Because that is strength, my beloved. Once this moment passes, you will walk lighter, clearer, more certain of who you are and where you are going, and that certainty will attract something entirely new, something aligned, something that recognizes your peace immediately. Listen carefully, because the next revelation will explain why this new alignment arrives faster than you expect, why preparation suddenly turns into manifestation, and why tonight's warning was the final piece needed before release. Because what happens next will change your life in ways you never saw coming. And it will change your life because alignment accelerates everything it touches. My child, listen carefully and do not skip this, because once you are internally settled, the external world must respond. Have you noticed how decisions feel simpler lately? How confusion no longer lingers the way it used to? Tell me honestly, do you feel a quiet certainty replacing constant questioning? This is not random. This is clarity arriving, and I am warning you now because clarity attracts movement. Opportunities will begin to appear without struggle, conversations will open without effort, paths will reveal themselves without forcing. Type Amen if you are already sensing momentum building. My beloved, the warning here is subtle but powerful. Do not mistake ease for insignificance. What comes next may feel almost too simple, too natural, and because of that you might be tempted to overlook it. Have you ever dismissed something because it did not feel dramatic enough? Have you assumed big? Purpose must arrive loudly. Listen carefully. The greatest shifts often enter quietly because they do not need to announce their authority. Do you feel that truth settling into you right now? My child, I am also warning you to stay present. Anticipation can pull you out of the now and cause you to miss what is unfolding. Have you been living too far ahead lately, planning outcomes instead of noticing progress? Listen carefully. Your future is being built through attention, not anxiety. Type yes. If you are choosing to stay grounded in this moment, because here is the reassurance, you do not have to chase what is aligned, it recognizes you by your peace. Do you trust that what is meant for you will meet you where you are? My beloved, soon you will receive confirmation that cannot be denied. It may come through words spoken unexpectedly, an offer you did not pursue, or a shift you did not initiate. Have you felt a sense of expectancy without pressure? Tell me honestly, do you feel ready? Without knowing exactly what you are ready for, this is readiness itself. Listen carefully, because I am also warning you not to minimize yourself when recognition arrives. Humility is not shrinking, it is standing firmly without pride. Have you practiced owning your growth without apology? Have you learned to receive affirmation without deflecting it? Type 1111 if you are willing to stand where I place you without hiding. My child, the next phase will require visibility in ways the last one did not, and that visibility will test whether you believe what I say about you. Do you trust my definition of you more than old labels? Do you believe you are qualified because I prepared you? Listen carefully. Self-doubt may try to whisper again, but it will not have the same power, because you now recognize its voice, and recognition removes authority. My beloved, I need you to understand this deeply. The warning tonight was never about fear, it was about readiness, and readiness has now been activated. Something will happen soon that confirms everything you heard, and when it does you will realize this was the turning point. The moment before acceleration, the pause before release, and there is still one final truth I must reveal, one that ties every warning together and explains why this message found you specifically, and when you hear it, you will understand why nothing can stop what is about to unfold, because what happens next will leave no part of your life untouched. And the truth that ties it all together is this. You were warned because you were entrusted. My child, listen carefully and do not skip this final movement, because not everyone receives warnings, only those whose future carries weight are alerted in advance. Have you ever wondered why you sense things before they happen, why you feel shifts others dismiss, why your spirit reacts before your mind understands? This is not imagination. This is assignment. And I am revealing it now so you stop doubting what I placed inside you. Type Amen if this resonates deeper than words. My beloved, the warning tonight was evidence that you are watched over with intention, protected with precision, and guided with purpose. Do you realize how many outcomes were redirected without you ever knowing? How many traps were avoided because you listened instead of rushing? Tell me honestly, do you feel gratitude rising where fear once lived? Listen carefully, because this awareness changes how you walk forward. You are not guessing anymore, you are discerning, and discernment carries authority. My child, I am also warning you about responsibility. Clarity brings accountability. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, you cannot pretend ignorance. Have you felt the weight of choice settle differently tonight? Do you sense that excuses no longer satisfy you? This is growth solidifying, not pressure increasing. And I am with you in it. Type yes if you are willing to walk with awareness instead of autopilot. My beloved, the coming days will confirm this message in small but unmistakable ways: repeated signs, aligned conversations, inner peace that does not break under stress. Have you learned to recognize confirmation without demanding spectacle? Listen carefully. Trust the consistency, because consistency is how truth proves itself. My child, I am also warning you to rest. Revelation can be heavy if you try to process it alone. Let this truth settle naturally. Do not analyze it to death. Have you been overthinking spiritual moments instead of receiving them? Tell me honestly, can you allow understanding to unfold over time? Type 1111 if you are choosing rest over rumination tonight. My beloved, something has already shifted because you stayed, because you listened, because you did not dismiss the nudge to continue. Do you feel different than when you began? Can you sense calm mixed with expectancy? That is alignment locking into place. And now hear this clearly. The reason this message feels personal is because it was. The reason it feels urgent is because timing matters. And the reason it feels unfinished is because the next step requires your movement, not just your agreement. Listen carefully. In the near moment ahead, you will be asked to act differently than you ever have before, to respond from peace instead of fear, from truth instead of habit. And when that moment comes, you will remember this warning and know exactly what to do. But the final revelation, the one that explains why this action unlocks everything, why it triggers a chain reaction you cannot reverse, has not been spoken yet. And when it is, you will realize this was never just a message, it was an activation, because what happens next will shock even you.